Okay, let's get this one over with. Hello everyone, Gilligan Kruger 0829 here, and welcome to day 4 of my Prometheus movie series marathon review. Today we will be looking at the 4th installment in the world popular Alien franchise, Alien Resurrection. And yes, I know, the Nostalgia Critic posted up his review just about a month or so ago, but you know what? Coincidences just fucking happen sometimes, don't they? Okay. Alright. Sorry about that, it's just, man, I really don't like this movie.
Alien Resurrection sucks!
See? I'm not the only one! And, it's just, I was not looking forward to this at all. This was the movie I was looking forward to the least of this entire franchise. And be afraid, people, we still have 2 Alien vs. Predator movies we also have to get through. Okay. Let's take a look. So, let's just get over with the plot synopsis. This one takes place 200 years after Alien 3. Yeah, you thought there was a big gap between Alien and Aliens? It's got nothing on this movie. And we learn that military scientists, including Brad Dourif, have created a clone of Ripley using her own DNA before she died at the end of the last movie. We also learn that they took the embryo from the alien that was growing inside of her and matured it into a full-grown queen, which has been laying eggs and producing countless offspring that they've been studying. So, yeah, at first things are going pretty hunky-dory until a crew of mercenaries come aboard. Some of them including Winona Ryder and Ron Perlman. And they initially suspect problems with keeping the Ripley clone on board. But, as with every Alien movie, that's the least of their worries. You see, 2 of the aliens found a way to break out of their cage and are now wreaking havoc on the spacecraft. And the rest of the movie is pretty much that, with a few little plot differences and new things thrown into the mix. So yeah, as you can guess, I don't like this movie in the slightest, but let's really go into the main faults with this movie. And I'll start with the biggest problem I have, and that's I never could figure out the tone this movie wanted to take. Hell, I don't even think the movie knows what tone it wants to take sometimes. I mean, there are points where this film is trying to be this intelligent science fiction thriller that's wanting to take all these new chances, and then at other points it just goes into a typical sci-fi shoot-'em-up. There really isn't any tension in here because, well, let's face facts. We saw all of these scenes in the first 3 movies, and there's nothing original about them. Yeah, I know I've kind of repeated that, but that's really an issue. This movie, I don't even really know how to put it. It's just,
it sucks!
Okay, thank you. Thank you. That was just a big issue for me. But if that was the only issue, I could give it up. But there are some other problems. The characters, which have gone to praise in the other movies, let's just start with that. Ripley, she still kind of has this spark and charisma to her that she did in the other movies, but I really kind of get the sense that she just, Sigourney Weaver by that I mean, didn't really care about being in this 4th installment. She's acting in a way, I don't know, maybe she was just directed in a way, maybe she just didn't care, I don't know, but I just wasn't interested in her this time around, and that's always a fault when you don't care about the main character. The other characters, though, I remember next to nothing about them. Like, I remember certain descriptions to them. You've got the typical roughneck, you've got the typical whiny girl, you've got a guy in a wheelchair. Yeah, I'm not kidding, we've got a awesome wheelchair guy in this movie. Let's not even begin to bring up comparisons there. And yeah, that pretty much rounds up the crew. Oh yeah, and there's one guy who kind of looks like Private Joker from Full Metal Jacket. He's probably the most entertaining character in this movie.
Is that you, Joss Whedon? Is this me?
But even if there was life given to these characters, the problem is they're really just introduced to be alien chow. You can't get behind characters if they're just thrown in to be, well, eaten. That's the problem that lots of slasher sequels have. Not just Aliens, but you've got these issues with Friday the 13th kids, you've got these issues with Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street kids. That's not the way to go. Now, I'll give them points because they're a little bit older, and to be completely honest, I don't really remember any of them giving bad performances here, but I don't really remember most anything about them, so that really doesn't help me out anywhere. And the other issue I have in this movie is the story, which really pains me knowing that Joss Whedon wrote this, but there are just some things that really lead to nowhere here. Like, at the end of Alien 3, we see the Beast is killed by splashing water over it. Now, in this movie, there's one sequence that's pretty much an underwater chase scene, and at first I'm thinking, oh, the characters in the water, they'll get through, the aliens can't even touch them there. But no, we have entire underwater swimming creatures, and no explanation to that. I mean, I guess if you really went into the biology of this, you could argue that it's a different species, since the creature in Alien 3 hatched from a cow, or dog, whichever one it was, and these ones probably hatched from humans, but would have liked a little more clarity on that. And, you know, I'm not even going to bring up the ending, because that was just... no comment is needed there. And yeah, I'll admit there are some clever ideas in here. I can definitely see that there was an effort to make this somewhat of an interesting script, but all those ideas fall on their face flatter than the villains in the Home Alone movies, so that really doesn't help us. So yeah, I've bitched about the tone, I've bitched about the characters, I've bitched about the story. Is there anything redeemable about this movie? Well, I'll be honest, I did kind of like the dark visual style to the movie, and it does still look pretty good, and the aliens do look pretty creepy. They do manage that. And as I said before, there was clearly effort put into this. This wasn't just some hack job saying, oh, there you go. There was some energy, and I'll praise the movie for that, but the problem is in this movie's execution. It just falls flat, and it's a complete mess from top to bottom. I know this is one of my shortest reviews, but I don't want to go on any longer. I really don't like this movie, and I think I've summed up most everything now. If it's on Netflix or YouTube and you just want to say you've seen the whole franchise, maybe I can say check it out, but really, you're not missing anything if you skip out on this one. It's my least favorite in the franchise, and since I saw this the same day I also saw Alien 3 the first time, the disappointment was only worse. So 1.5 stars out of 5 for Alien Resurrection. You can find all my movie reviews on my YouTube channel. If you have a movie you'd like me to review, comment on this video or on my channel. Subscribe if you like, and until next time, peace.
Joss Whedon!
See? You see what it does?